I'm on a Coast Guard vessel called the Teleost, just leaving St. Anthony, Newfoundland to do a groundfish survey in order to paint a picture of what's at the bottom of our oceans. For the longest time, the bottom of the ocean was a place we just couldn't truly know. Stories, like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, could only guess at the mysteries the bottom held. One of those mysteries concerns the current status of cod. How many are out there now? Where are they? And what else do we need to know and do to help the recovery? In the search for answers, we're using some of the tools of big fishing, but in the name of big data.
Basically, it's the only scientific source of information we have to determine how much of each species is out there. So how much shrimp, how much crab, how much codfish. So this is the data that everybody with Fisheries and Oceans Canada uses.
Industrial fishing with a trawl net can damage habitats on the ocean floor. These vessels rake the bottom, shift after shift, and for mile after mile. But this is different. When the Teleost net grazes the bottom, it's trawling for critical information. It's only dragging for 15 minutes and in a very targeted area. For this groundfish survey, a small scrape on the seafloor is like getting a blood test to protect your entire body.
The overall impact on the ecosystem is pretty low for this survey, and we feel that the information that we get about the ecosystem is much more valuable. The DFO scientists compile the data and analyze it, and then that's used to provide advice to fisheries managers in setting quotas.
Before the Teleost data can be analyzed, it needs to be physically gathered.
So we've got 36 hours basically from where we are now.
Yep, to when we're done.
Until when we're done. So that, and it's Thursday noon, Friday noon, Saturday noon,
Okay.
Saturday evening. So we should be in a relatively good position by the time the weather hits.
Okay, sounds good.
Looks pretty good there.
Okay.
The next step in this survey involves casting a net, a scientific net.
I'll let you know then, I won't want to.
They call this shooting the trawl, and it can happen anytime, day or night.
A trawl is a big piece of netting, and it pretty much is shaped in a shape of a cone. And that's just hooked onto a set of doors, and you just picture a kite, and the kite actually keeps the trawl its shape to be able to catch fish.
The mechanical process of shooting the trawl is an elaborate one, requiring an amazing amount of teamwork from the crew and the scientists aboard the Teleost. But it's worth it when data is the thing being captured.
So here's showing the net going down through the water column. Looks like it probably hit bottom roughly around here. Might have been going down a little bit of a slope. Now I'm also looking at the average depth. So this one shows me we're an average of 282 meters. We towed our 15 minutes, and that's when they clutched in the winches to bring it back up off the bottom.
The Teleost's hull is now filled with new specimens, and that means new data that could help us determine if cod stocks are bouncing back in this part of the North Atlantic.
The overall picture requires all the data to be joined together. So that's all the data from multiple trips, where they then take those numbers and they feed them through different computer programs to determine how many are out there, if it's going up, if it's going down. Overall, for all of our divisions, we sample about between 500 and 800 different places is where we'll trawl.
We've come a long way in studying what lies beneath at the bottom of the sea, but we still have a long way to go.
As you can see now, we're traveling 11.3 knots, and our next station is 22 miles away.
22 miles, or 20,000 leagues under the sea.